Hey everybody, good evening. It's Chris here again. Well, some of you are like, we know, and some of you have never seen me before. So this might be the first time you're tuning in. And pretty much what I do here in these videos is I read the daily reflection. This is a recovery-based YouTube channel. So I started this roughly about May 23rd, I think was the first time. So almost a month. Actually, it's been a month already. So I've been doing this for a month every day, reading the daily reflections and then reflecting or sharing about what I got out of it, and also open to comments. This is not live, but you can always leave a comment what you get out of this reflection, or maybe whatever you want to comment. I'll leave that to you. Okay. So today is June 25th. Right? It says a two-way street. If we ask, God will certainly forgive our derelictions, but in no case does he render us white as snow and keeps us that way without our cooperation. And that's 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 65. When I prayed, I used to omit a lot of things for which I needed to be forgiven. I thought that if I didn't mention these things to God, he would never know about them. I did not know that if I had just forgiven myself for some of my past deeds, God would forgive me also. I was always taught to prepare for the journey through life, never realizing until I came to AA, when I honestly became willing to be taught forgiveness and forgiving, that life itself is a journey. The journey of life is a very happy one, as long as I am willing to accept change and responsibility. Wow. Two-way street, right? So, man, I was kind of smiling at reading that, because I remember reading that about 5 years ago and thinking that I knew everything and I knew exactly in the book, and y'all just needed to hear this and y'all need to hear exactly what I said. Not like right now, right? But more like with a lot of ego and a lot of pride, and 3 weeks later I'm drunk again. So I don't quote the big book or any book as much anymore, but I do know where some stuff is, right? I'm trying my best to just do it different this time, stay a little more humble and be teachable, right? That's my favorite thing to be right now, is teachable, to learn new things, to learn old things over again. I mean, I'm really just open to a lot of things right now. So right now it's talking about a two-way street, right? So God can change me, right? When I ask him, he can change me. He knows everything about me. He knew everything I've been through. He knows what I'm going through right now. He knows my future. He knows everything about me, right? So sometimes sharing that with him is just part of humility, right? Like people ask all the time, why do we gotta do the fifth step if he knows everything about me? Well, it's about posture. It's about heart posture. It's like, where's your heart at? Are you humble? Can you have humility, right? Do you have humility? And people say, well, Chris, it doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with the humility. Yeah, it does. For you to say openly to somebody else what you've been doing your whole time in addiction, how you've hurt others, how you cheated on your wife, all those things. It takes humility. Not everybody can just do it and really be sincere about it. Right, I can recall tons of conversations I had over a drink at the bar and be like, ah ha 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 ha, ah ha 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 ha, just laughing it off, but getting drunk, right? Because that's what would numb the pain, was getting drunk, would numb the feelings. Because while I was laughing, I was dying inside. I was laughing out loud and dying inside, and the fifth step, it really just helped me just to say it out loud, feel the feelings, and hang out with somebody else and God while I did it. That's humbling. That's a humbling experience, right? So doing step 5 and now asking God. Okay, so those of you who have been listening to my videos, step 6 is about preparation, right? Preparation for preparation of the 7th step, right? So it's still trying to convince me or ask me or help me make a decision is whether I'm ready to have these defects removed or not. These defects that showed up on the fifth step, right? As a result of the fifth step, I got to see my patterns. Oh, this is what Chris does when he doesn't get his way. Oh, Chris likes to do these things that hurt other people, right? So right now, since we're almost done with June, so we're gonna get to the 7th soon, but right now we're still in the 6th. So now it's asking me. So now it's telling me, hey Chris, you ready? I'm ready. My answer is yes, I'm ready. Okay. Get ready, because you're going to pray, but you're also going to have to do the work. Right? It says right here, he don't keep me that way without my cooperation. Well, what do you mean? Well, I can pray to not be a liar, but I got to stop telling lies. Right? That's my part, is I got to stop telling lies. And when I tell a lie, then I got to reflect on it and correct it, right? It's not okay. Okay, well, what else? Well, for me to stop being a thief, I gotta stop stealing. That's my part. I can say, God, please, I don't want to be a thief anymore. So that means I gotta stop stealing. God, I don't want to be broke anymore. I gotta find something, a system for my finances that works, because what I've been doing doesn't work, right? God, I don't want to hang out with married girls anymore. Okay, well then just don't do it. Just don't do it. You see a married girl, run. Turn around, run as fast as you can. Get away from it. Right? That's what was suggested to me. Get away from it, Chris. Just, you see them, keep it moving. Don't say nothing. Don't look at her. Don't smell her. Don't do nothing. Just keep it going. Right? And that's work for me, because honestly, I'm tired of hurting people in that way, and I don't want to do that anymore. And I hurt myself too, right? I keep myself at bay from real intimacy when okay, let me tell you. So when I'm hanging out with married women or people who are emotionally unavailable to date, guess what? That means I am not emotionally unavailable, right? So if I'm hanging out with somebody who's taken, whoo, that's easy. I don't gotta get intimate. I don't gotta be, have healthy intimacy with this person. I don't have to build a true relationship with this person because she's taken. It's no commitment. So who has a problem? Me or her? Me. I do. I have intimacy issues. Right? Because if I were to date somebody who was fully available, my God, what would I do with it? I would probably sabotage it. I mean, that's what I have done. I mean, that's not what I want to do anymore. Like, I feel today like I've grown up some in that area where it's like, yeah, I think I can be in a real relationship now. I mean, like, I've really, worked on a lot of these defects. I prayed on a lot of these things. God, help me with my intimacy issues. Help me to see what it is. I want to work on it. I want to fix it. I don't want to be single the rest of my life. But I don't want somebody to get with me and I'm still all crazy. A little crazy is okay, but not so crazy that they can't stand me. I don't want to be that person, right? So I want to be the person that I'll be somebody's, their rest and not their duty, like my pastor says. I want to be somebody's rest. I want when when I'm dating somebody, for them to be around me and feel like, man, this feels good. This feels awesome. That I like hanging out with this guy. I want to go to movies with this guy. I want to have dinner with this guy. I want to hold his hand. It feels good to hang out with this guy. Just talking with him is like, wow. That's what I want. That's the kind of relationship I want. I don't want to be in a relationship where that girl, or I don't want to be the person in the relationship that when that other person walks in, it's like, oh my God, there he comes. He's always complaining. He's always petty. He's always talking about this, about work. I don't really want to hang out with him today. Oh man, I don't want to be that person in somebody else's life. I want to be that person that you'd be amazed how many people are with somebody else that feel just that same way. Especially if they're married, they've been married for a while, and they can't seem to get along anymore, and it's just seems like it's very disconnected. I don't want to be that either, right? But I can only work on my part one day at a time, and hopefully um, when I get there, that's what it will be like, at least for the most part, right? So that's a lot of my honesty, and that's a lot about my willingness about self-forgiveness and asking for God to forgive me. It's like, God, man, I messed up. I shouldn't have been with that girl. Forgive me, Lord, right? Forgive me. And I also gotta forgive myself. It's like, Chris, you didn't know any better, but now you do, bro. So, hey, shake it off. It's gonna be okay. And let's not do that anymore. And I like that. I like that approach. I like that approach about me forgiving myself, because there's a lot of things that I've done that I'm still struggling to forgive myself for, but I'm working on it. Forgiving myself for being a bad son to my mom. Whew, that's a big one. Forgiving myself for hurting other people by dating their spouse. That's a big one. Forgiving myself for not speaking up when I should have. That's a big one. Forgiving myself for being dishonesty when the truth was better off. I mean, it's a process, and it's a process because for me, I could be having a beautiful, wonderful day, and I'll be in the supermarket not working, but I go to buy stuff too. I love to go. I love fresh food, so I buy my food fresh every day when I'm gonna cook, and I don't keep it in my refrigerator more than 2 or 3 days. So I like fresh food all the time, so I go to the supermarket a lot. And sometimes I see people that I haven't seen in a while, and something will happen. Or I'll see somebody that looks like it's happened to me more than one time. I'll see somebody that looks like my first girlfriend. And I haven't seen my first girlfriend like in 25 years, around there. I wouldn't know. I don't think she would recognize me because I'm different. I mean, she doesn't even know Chris. And I don't think I'll recognize her either. But sometimes I'll see people who look like her, and it'll trigger something in me. Like, I'll start thinking about what the relationship was like and how it ended and what my actions were. And I gotta bring myself back, man. They call that's actually called, for those of us in recovery, that's called morbid reflection, right? We get into this zone. We start thinking about all these things that we used to do and how we used to be. And we gotta like bring ourselves back. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, Chris, you're not that guy no more. You're not that guy no more. You were badass freaking then. You are like that guy. Because I was a different person before I got my heart broken for the very first time. I really was, man. As people, they were like, oh man, he was cool. And then something happened, and then he wasn't cool. He was isolated. He isolated himself. And that's what happened. Nobody knew that me and her were together. So when we broke up, man, I was heartbroken for years. So, anyway, I don't know why I shared that with y'all, but I did. So that's more of a reflection, right? We get into these thought process where we start thinking about very negative things in our life that maybe we haven't dealt with, but we start getting into a zone like, man, I was a bad person. That's more of a reflection, right? So when we go there, we could recognize it. Oh, let me get back, right? Because while Chris today, he's cool and he's working on himself and things are awesome, and he's not going to be that person. He just got to move on. I have to move on, right? I can't keep going there and feeling bad for myself and talking, making me feel like I'm not worthy of love because of what I did when I was like 15 years old and I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to love. I knew that I was heartbroken, but I didn't know how to react to that, right? So now that I do know how to react to that, I can do it differently. And that's what gives me hope today. It's like, Chris, you didn't know any better, but now you do. Now you know better, you could do better, right? That's my part. That's part of the one-way street. God can help me, but I have to help myself too. How do I do that? Well, I recognize something like that, and I know that, hey, there might could still be something there I need to talk about or work about it, right? And really, I've talked about this thing often, and they'll just tell me, Chris, you gotta let that go, man. You're willing and ready to make amends, and you will when the time is right, but that's God's time. It's not your time. And then hopefully then you'll be able to move on, because you can't hold on to this thing. You gotta move on. So that's kind of like for me with this, and that's part of the journey, right? It says right here, the journey of life is a very happy one, as long as I'm willing to accept change and responsibility. I'm willing to accept change, and I'm willing to accept my responsibility. So change. There's been a lot of change in my life, which is it just is, it's not good or bad. Some of it, it's hard, but some of it's good. A lot of it's good. And responsibility, well, yeah, I kind of like having responsibility. I kind of like it that people can count on me to go to work. I kind of like it that that I hold positions now that I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for certain things. I kind of like that. I kind of like being a little responsible. Sometimes it feels like overwhelming, but I do like it. But I know that even that I can't do it alone. I ask for a lot of strength. And I can't really go much longer because of my time, my video time. But I just want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in. I hope you have got something out of this. I hope that it's helping you the way it's helping me. It's helping me a lot to share with you guys. It's helping me a lot to read this that I have this commitment, this responsibility, right? To read this and to share with you. Whether you listen, even if this video has 0 views, I really feel like I will have fulfilled part of my responsibility by reading this and sharing it with y'all. Okay, so I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. That's all I do. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. But if I don't, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. Today happens to be a Saturday, and tomorrow's Sunday, which to me, even though I work in the morning, it feels like a day off. But for tonight, we'll see what I go through to have some fun in my life today. Who knows? I'll just go out there and see what the universe has for me today. So anyway, thank you guys. I love you so much, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye.